So here we're going to talk about hydroponic reservoirs, which are basically reservoirs or holding containers for water. See one here on a very large scale. Typically we have these on a much smaller scale for smaller hydroponic operations. So in general, it should be as large as possible for the given space. You don't want to have something overly oversized and something undersized. It needs to match the area or space that you're going to be growing in. Should be located in an area that does not cause them to overheat and keep evaporation to a minimum. Want to keep the heat down as well. The level, the EC, and the temperature need to be monitored. When I say level, I mean the height within the reservoir. Don't want to let it get too low, because if you're running pumps especially, that could cause pumps to burn out, or it could cause not enough water to reach your plants and cause them to have water stress and could ultimately cause them to die. The target temperature would be 60 and 75 degrees Fahrenheit, 18 to 24 degrees Celsius. We want to keep temps below 85 degrees Fahrenheit or 30 degrees Celsius. Anything higher than this should be avoided due to the increased odds of root damage because water holds oxygen at a much poorer level at these warmer temperatures. If a heater is added, be sure to circulate the water to allow an even temperature distribution. This would be needed if your temperature is falling below 60 degrees Fahrenheit for whatever reason, below 18 degrees Celsius. Sometimes a water heater is advantageous to add depending on your location of your reservoir, but keep in mind that you do want to stir that water. Otherwise, it'll just be a small area of really warm water and it will cause stratification in the aquatic environment that you have. Covers are advised. There should be covers to limit light and reduce the chance of algae growth. So want to have some sort of lid on them. It could be simply a piece of plastic here that eliminates light penetration. It can also help control water loss and prevent unwanted items from falling into the tank. So you see here there's a cover, but there's also a more solid grate cover here to prevent anything from falling in to this reservoir tank. Lastly, having a lid that seals airtight may initially sound like a good idea, but actually this can cause suction and reduce the flow of water to the irrigation system. So while you may want to put a lid on that, you want to make sure that there's some form of air exchange that is occurring, especially if you're using pumps to pump water out. You want to make those pumps work any harder and increase the chance of failure. Having some sort of breathability is a good idea. You don't want to necessarily have it sealed. Simply having it mostly covered and sealed from the outside, from outside light, is a good idea, but keeping it sealed so that it's airtight is not advised, because you can reduce your evaporation loss vastly by just having this cover over it. You don't need to keep it airtight.